Hi, welcome or welcome back. I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Savannah and this is my little corner of the internet where I like to share all of my crafting adventures. I have my orange cat. His name is Orange. He's sleeping here. He's probably like, why are you disturbing me? Anyways, I know this is a little crooked. My tripod's acting up. It is February 16th. It's February 16th, which is a Friday. It is almost 2:30 in the afternoon and it has been incredibly foggy all day long. There's like a freezing rain happening. It's very foggy. I was expecting it to be a lot darker in here because it is pretty dark, but looking at the camera or my screen on my phone, everything looks pretty bright, so we're just gonna roll with it for now. What do I want to talk about? Now, it's my mid-month ramble. I guess you could call it my mid-month check-in, just to show you what's going on. I am not prepared. I knew I wanted to make this video today. I just let the day get away from me. By the time I remembered, I blame the fact that I just made banana bread. It smells amazing here. And the fact that Love is Blind, the new season, is on Netflix. So I have been watching that. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive right in because I don't know what else to say. I have two finished objects. I don't think this was done the last time I showed you, but I finished it up pretty quickly. After the fact, this is the December bow by Petite Knit. There was a lot of, I wouldn't say challenges with this, but the original yarn that I wanted to use, I did not have enough, unfortunately. I wanted to make this in red. But I had enough of this left over. Plus, I did make it a little bit skinnier than the pattern called for. So I had plenty of yarn. The yarn is Madeline Tosh Work Sock Sport in the Mars and Retrograde colorway. I know it's quite crazy. And I have it on one of these. So I bought a multi-pack of these. So I plan to make more. And I have my hair up in a messy bun, but just clip it right in. So I wore this on Valentine's Day. This with my little Valentine's Day outfit, which was just a red tank top, pink trousers, and then I wore my Lathe cardigan by Creabea, which is just white. I made mine in white, so yep. But yeah, so it was funny. I know I was about halfway done with this, I believe. I don't know if it was when I last showed you or what, and then I just finished up the second half in almost, I think, like one day. I was like, why did I procrastinate so bad? So December bow Petite Knit. I do plan on making more. You need about, so I didn't hold this double, so I used less than 50 grams to do this. Again, it's just a single strand of the sport weight, and I think I think I put it in my Ravelry project page how many stitches I did. I think maybe 4 less than what is called for. Don't quote me on that. So that is a finish. My second finish. Absolutely love this thing. I finished my storm sweater by Petite Knit. Look at that. I'll insert photos of me wearing it. I've worn it multiple times already since finishing it. I ran into a little snag. I ran out of yarn and I had to order more, unfortunately. So the yarn that I did use is Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool in the colorway Oatmeal. That's what it was, Oatmeal. It is a worsted weight 100% wool yarn, and it is so cozy. It has got a rustic feel to it, so it's, I mean, not the most rustic I've felt, but definitely rustic. But it is so cozy, it is so warm. But yes, sorry, there's a hair or something. I had purchased 3 skeins of this yarn, and if you are unaware, I should have probably brought one up, but they're giant. They're pretty big skeins of, it's like 227 grams, about 400 and some odd yards per skein. So I thought 3 would be enough. I really did think 3 was going to be enough. And I'll be honest, I knit the entire thing, and I had this section, and the cuff left to do. So I unfortunately had to buy another one. I was not happy because, again, these are giant skeins, and all I needed to do was finish up this much. But I think what I'll do is make either a pair of worsted weight socks or a hat with the remaining. Kind of go with this. I don't know about a hat, but maybe. I mean, socks would be really nice, though. I could even like use some of these motifs on the socks if I wanted to, but I really love this. So I made the large size because if you are unaware with this particular pattern by Petite Knit, a lot of the sizes have the exact same numbers. The only difference is length. So I just went with the large because it had the same numbers as the medium, which I would normally knit a medium. Just the length was different. Honestly, I don't think that even mattered in the long run because the chart for the body, it ended with this motif right here. And then, you know, her pattern says you can keep going until you reach this length. And so I was like, okay. But then when I looked at like the actual sweater she knit, like on the cover page of the pattern, she actually had this section as well on hers. And I was like, okay. And I looked through a bunch of project pages, and a lot of other people had this extra bit here too. And so, yeah, I measured it, and to reach the number that was stated, you know, length number stated in her pattern for the large, I would have to do this, but it would end, that number actually was like somewhere in the middle of the repeat, you know, this repeat of this motif, but she asks you to finish a complete repeat plus the garter ridge bumps, these ones that are in between it. She wants you to finish a full one before, you know, ending. So I did that, and then I put on the, well, and then so on and so forth. I finished it, right? Before I made the decision to put this one on, though, I did try it on, and I was like, okay, that was another thing that solidified my reasoning to put that on, because it stopped right below my belly button. So I was like, ooh, this is gonna be really cropped if I stop right here. And so that was another thing. And then for the sleeves, I mean, I'll go back to talking about it in a minute. This is all pre-blocked stuff. Added the sleeves, the pattern, the chart actually stops here. Yes, it actually stops here, and then you put on a thing. Perfect for me. It worked out lengthwise. It was perfect for me. It was hitting like right here. This is again pre-blocking. It hit me about here. I was like, okay, cool. I'll try to insert a picture of it, what it looked like pre-blocked. So I was like, okay. And then I went ahead and blocked this, which I believe I have a little video on here on YouTube of how I did that. I didn't stretch it. I just stretched it wider so that the bottom ribbing would not cinch in. I did not want it to cinch in. And this thing grew like 2 inches. This is a non-superwash wool. It grew 2 inches. Like, so the sleeve ended about here and now it's like here, which I don't hate. The sleeves I do not hate. Love them. They're great. They're comfortable. When I compare the pre-block and post-block photos that I took of this sweater on my body, the body stopped. You know what? I'm not going to remember exactly where. I mean, I'll have the pictures up, but I could tell it grew quite long from where the body ended, according to on my wrist area. I was like, whoa. So it's definitely a lot longer than I had expected or planned. I don't hate it. So the first time I wore it, I just wore it with leggings. It worked out. It was fantastic. I had originally made this with the idea that I was going to wear this over a dress. And I was worried that wasn't going to work, but I did the little trick where you put a bra on over the dress and then you just tuck your sweater into your bra. And I did wear that on Tuesday and it worked out. It was lovely. It was comfy. And so this sweater is just fantastic. I really, really, really love this thing. It's huge. It ended up a lot bigger than I expected, but I love it so much. And I wear it all the time. So yeah, Storm Sweater by Petite Knit using Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool in the oatmeal colorway. Will I make another? No, this one took quite a while. I believe I started this in September or October. And I just finished it early February. Granted, I think it was only a total of 30 some days, I think, total knitting. I can't remember. And it's all knits and pearls. So fantastic sweater. I keep asking my husband to try it on because I really do think it would fit him too. That's how big it is. All right. Sorry, I just rambled on about that forever. Let's go ahead and get into whips. All right. I only have, oh, nope, I have two whips that I am kind of working on and then 2 new starts. So whip number 1 is, I have other things to go over with you as well. Sorry, we'll do an update later. This is the Clearview cardigan by Sasha Knits. I am not as far as I had initially wanted to be, but I keep reminding myself that it's okay. I already knew this was going to be a long project. I'm still continually pushing the goals that I have for this out, which is fine. My current goal for this is just to get the back panel finished. It's taking quite a bit, but again, it is a very distracting knit. It is a very intense knit. And so it is taking a little bit longer. I'm not looking forward to when the body is, when it's all joined together for the body and it's longer rows, but I will get through it. So yes, I'm nearly done with the back panel. I think I have like 1.5 inches to go maybe. I don't have a measuring tape here with me, so here's the back panel. Again, this is the Clearview cardigan by Sasha Knits. All over textured cardigan, absolutely beautiful. So we have waffle knit, waffle, then you have antler cables, twist cables, honeycomb cables, and then twist, antler, and then a big section of, what's that, waffle? And then you're back with your antler, twist, honeycomb, twist, antler, and then finish off. So you have this, and then in the front will be kind of the same, where you're going to have these panels coming down the side, and you'll have, I think, more of the waffle down the side, and then maybe a strip of waffle here, and then there's a pretty high collar. I cannot remember what the sleeves look like. I believe there's cables on them. So I'm using the yarn. I'm using Pearl Soho's Good Wool, which is 100% Highland wool. It's categorized as a sport weight. I'm getting gauge, I believe. The pattern was called for a sport weight by a Wool Folk sport weight. But this is working out so far, I think. I think I hit gauge. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know how to count my stitches in pattern like this. So what I typically do for gauge swatches is I will cast, I understand how gauge swatches work. You're supposed to cast on more then the number you're supposed to hit, and then count in between, like in the middle. I know that, I understand. I'll do that for stockinette. But when it comes to a textured swatch, I have no clue how to count my stitches. So what I'll do is I'll cast on the exact number that I'm supposed to get, and then I'll wet block it and then just lay it flat. And then if it hits 4 inches or whatever it says to do, then I'll just kind of be like, okay, I guess I hit the right thing. Like, I won't pin it or stretch it or anything. I just wet block it, you know, get most of the water out, and then just lay it flat so that I'm not manipulating it in any way. So yeah, we'll see. Even it looks like it's going to be a bit oversized, so I'm not too mad about it. I believe I'm making what would be the medium size. I'm not entirely sure the sizing, the way the sizing is made. I haven't actually looked at the pattern in quite a bit. I'm using a chart, and it's just the chart. There's nothing else on there saying what size I'm making, so I'm just following the chart. Okay, this is a really lovely color. I think it's going to be really good, especially with like a white t-shirt and some blue jeans. Ooh, it's going to be wonderful. Oh, I forgot to tell you the color name. Color name is Wild Mustard. So sorry about that. So, yes, slowly but surely working on this, as I go. Okay, what else? My other whip that I'm currently focusing on is the Artist Shawl by Natasha Hornby. This one is, the Artist Shawl, I'm working it for a knit along, and the knit along ends at the end of this month, so that's why I'm focusing on finishing it. I'm actually hoping to get it finished this weekend. I have a nice long weekend, so I'm trying really hard. I keep wanting to tell myself to finish it today, but I know that's not going to happen because it's already, like I said, almost 3 o'clock. But I'm pretty sure it is doable this weekend. So focusing on that right now, and this is where I'm at. I cannot stretch it out on the needles because it is quite long, but here's my progress. Look at that. Let's see if I can get somewhat. Isn't that lovely? So I'm almost done with this mosaic section. So you have waffle, 1x1 color work, and then this is all mosaic, and I am almost done. So it'll be a repeat here, like this section right here where this pink is, it's just there. So I just need a little bit more. Oh, let me see here. I would assume I'd have, yeah, I think I just have to finish up so I have like this little white block here, down here. So I'm almost done. And then there's, I believe, one more section of the 1x1 color work, and then a thick, chunky I-cord. I think it's a 7-stitch I-cord, which I've never done before. So, and it'll be in the green. So this yarn is ampersand fibers in the Castellan fingering base. Again, I don't know how to pronounce the color names, but they're all in my Ravelry. This yarn is I believe it's 100% Coriadale. I know I always get confused, but that's what I think it is, which is a lovely, super soft yarn. And I actually saved this, rescued it from a whip I made like 2 years ago that I never wore because it did not fit me. So I really, really love this. I think this will definitely get a lot more wear. Like, look at how beautiful. Thankfully, it has not been hurting my hands nearly as much as it was before. So that's good. I don't know if I've just like loosened up my tension on it, or because at first I think I was worried about these floats back here. Which if you haven't knit mosaic. You're only working with one color at a time, and slipping the stitches you're not working with, but you still have to be mindful of your floats. So I am nervous about that. I'm hoping it blocks out well. This is only my second time doing mosaic stitching, knitting. It won't be my last. Not that I actually enjoy it a lot. It's just there's a lot of beautiful patterns out there that actually call for it. So I will be doing it. Oh, I also should show you. This is where I was last time. I forgot to show you on the other thing. So yeah, this is where I was last time. I've knit all that, so I'm going to move that down. I guess I should have showed you on this too, because I actually got quite a bit done on this since the last time. So yeah, that's where I was last time, and I did get all the increases finished, and now I'm just working on this. Like I said, I'm supposed to do about 6 inches. I think I have close to 5, about 4.5 maybe. So yeah, I gotta move that down too, so I should probably do that. This rock is from Lake Superior. Really love it. It came in a set of sea glass, this Lake Superior sea glass from my hometown. Anywho, sorry. So yeah, I was in the middle of actually knitting on that shawl when I realized that I needed to film a video. So I was like, okay, don't start another row until I get that. All right, and I have 2 new starts. So after I finished the storm sweater, I decided to cast on my son's amigurumi doll that he wanted. I know I showed this last time. I think I just showed you the yarn and the pattern. So the pattern's from this Peek-a-Pow 3 book. I'm making my son Angelica Whale. He really, really liked this one, so I agreed. I ordered yarn from Wool Warehouse. I purchased Drops Cotton Light yarn. Okay. So Angelica Whale, that's her. She's a cutie. Yeah, this is a pain in the bum. So I am using a 3mm hook because I don't have a 2.75 crochet hook, but just a 3mm hook with the yarn, which I believe is a DK weight cotton yarn. It's not terrible to work with. I was struggling. Okay, so I cast it on and I was not loving the fact that it's twisting. You know, if you know crochet, especially amigurumi, you're working in a spiral, just like knitting. It's a spiral, but with color changes, you can see it more drastically, and it's spiraling and twisting, and I don't know how best to explain it. I'll show you because it's doing it still. In this book by Jan Schneckel, I think. She has a whole section in the beginning that talks about X-shaped stitches versus V-shaped stitches, which I didn't know that there was a difference. And she says, you know, for Angelica Whale, she's like all my toys, this design was made using the X-shaped single crochet stitch. If you use a V-shaped stitch, the line between the color changes will start to turn. A perfectly straight line is impossible, as even X-shaped stitches make your line turn at some point. So don't worry about it too much. I'm like, okay. So I went ahead and just went in with a V-shaped stitch because that's my typical way of making a single crochet. That's where you're yarning over pretty much. The yarn is going over your hook when you go to pull it through, you know, to make a stitch. So again, I didn't know this was different. An X, you're actually yarning under to pull the yarn through. So I was originally starting with the V-shaped stitch because, again, like I said, that is my typical motion to just yarn it, you know, bring the yarn over the hook to pull it through. That was what was more comfortable for me. I was crocheting, and I noticed that, you know, it's not looking so hot. It's really starting to twist. I'm not too thrilled with it. So I'm like, okay, well, let me try this X-shaped single crochet. And so I did that a few times on my original piece, and, you know, you couldn't really tell the difference. So I was like, okay, I don't think it matters that I'm switching between the two, but it wasn't changing anything. I was still getting a twist. And I was like, well, maybe if I do this, add the color change because it's intarsia. Maybe if I do this, I could get myself a straight line, but then it gets my numbers off. And I was like, oh, and it was getting really messed up. And so I had to rip it all the way out and restart. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to restart. I'm going to do all these X-shaped stitches and see if that helps. I didn't change it at all. So as you can see, so you start here and then you start crocheting around. As you can see on this side, it definitely twists up, while on your beginning of round, it stayed nice and straight. I don't know why, beautifully nice and straight, but on the middle of the round where you change color, it started to twist up. And so when you look at it head on, it looks like that. Hers doesn't look like that. When I went onto the project page on Ravelry for this, a lot of people said that they had experienced the exact same thing, and that this was not the best one to start with if you've never knit or crocheted any of her amigurumis before. So I was like, well, great, you know, but I just kept going because I know my son's still going to love it regardless. And some people did say that once they stuffed their whale, it did help a little bit with the twisting, but I really don't see how that's necessarily possible because this, you know, the nose is flat. So yeah, see, got the nice straight line, and then obviously I had to do some changes here because of the pattern told me to, but this is what it's looking like when it should be more like, oh, it's so sad. So it's just really the nose, I think, that throws it off the most. Like, I can only hope for the best. So this is where I'm at. I finished the increases, and now I have a big section. I forget how many, like 31 rows of this to go and add the eyes. So yeah, you're doing intarsia, as you can see here. You're just switching in between. I don't think you'll be able to see the X because they still look like, I'll be honest, well, I guess they do kind of, some of them look like little V's, and then some of them look like X's. I don't know how well you can see. It uses less yarn, they say, because I you know, she explains it in the beginning of this book in her little tutorial. She explains the reasoning why. There's videos on the internet about this. It uses less yarn, makes smaller stitches, and so technically your project is going to be smaller or shorter, where if you use a V-shaped, it'll be longer or bigger, you know, and it uses more yarn. Anyways, so, and then I decided to whip out this. I bought this from Dreaming Robots. It's the Lazy Kate. It's a magnetic little piece. It's a Lazy Kate for like spinning, but it comes with, oh, maybe this one would be better. It comes with these spikes, so you'd put a bobbin on this, but it came with these spikes as well, so you can use for, you know, yarn balls if you want. If you're pulling from like the outside, or if you have like one of those yarn balls that you can only pull from the outside. So I was using that. I have a third one as well, but I only needed 2. So yeah, I'm just taking a break from it right now since it was pretty frustrating. I know I need to get back to it, but yeah. I don't expect any of the other ones to be absolutely terrible because I don't see any of the other ones really having any type of intarsia style crochet. It's mostly just striping on a lot of them, and with striping I'm not too concerned. It will still slant, but again, it's not as concerning as the twisting in the whale's mouth. Again, I know my son's gonna love it regardless. It just bothers me. Okay, and the last new start is actually a test knit. I was approved for a test knit. Joan Ho, oh shoot, I was gonna bring her other book. Joan Ho is making another book. I have her first book, which is the cable knit style book, which I showed on here a couple of videos back. I can't remember when, but she released that book a little while back, and she is working on a new book that includes, like, it's all like summer tops. So I applied to test knit one of her designs, and it's a t-shirt, and so I was approved, and that was a hot mess too for myself. It was me, not her. Nothing wrong with her. The yarn I wanted to use, which I had in stash, I realized I did not have enough. My gauge wasn't hitting perfectly, but it was decent enough that I was going to use it. But then I realized I did not have enough yardage. And then so I was like, okay, well, I'll just order more. Yeah, I can't find that yarn anywhere. It's a Canadian yarn. It's called About Strings. It's a, what I have in stash is the Lazy DK, which is a cotton merino blend. You typically, if you're in the US, you're supposed to order it through Amazon. Amazon does not have black at all. You can also order it directly through their website About Strings, but it does take definitely longer because what happened was they didn't have the black on Amazon when I first ordered it. So I went to their website and they're like, oh, we realized that you're a US customer, so it's going to take some time for us to get that to you. And I was like, it's no big deal. They don't even have it on their website. Like, you can't get black. And I didn't know if it was going to be, I'd be able to get it in time before the test knit ended. So I was like, okay, well, now I need to find an alternative. I'm not going to be able to use the yarn that I want to. So I pulled a different yarn from stash that was just an acrylic yarn. It was labeled as DK, but I was getting way too many stitches per inch. Not inch, 4 inches. So the original yarn, it was actually 2 stitches smaller, which would have meant my project would have been bigger, but I was okay with that. The second yarn that I used, I think I was getting 24 stitches per 4 inches, and I needed 22, so it was going to be a lot smaller. So I wasn't too thrilled with that. Plus, it's an acrylic yarn. I'm not going to diss on anybody. It's a lovely yarn. I just know I'm going to be hot, and it's supposed to be a summer tea. So I was like, I don't think I want to use that. And so I went into my Holst Garn stash. This is the only one I have of their Coast base. Their Coast base is 55% wool, 45% cotton. This is the black currant colorway. It's just like grapey purple. And I knew I wanted to use cotton, so I went ahead and held this double and swatched that, and I believe, what was my gauge? I believe it was close to 24 stitches as well. So I was like, all right, so I'm 1 inch, according to my gauge and the gauge of the pattern, I'm going to be 1 inch smaller than the minimum recommended positive ease. I hope that made sense. So the positive ease says it's supposed to be 4 to 7 inches. I believe I will have 3 inches of positive ease. But again, I'm not too worried about that. This is going to be flowy. It's going to be soft. I mean, this is really, really soft. It's going to be a breathable summer t-shirt. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm really, really bummed that my original didn't work. I did purchase some black cotton. Well, it was black because I really wanted a black one. But I purchased some cotton yarn, like 100% cotton yarn, to try in a worsted weight because she says you can use DK or worsted. And I was not getting anywhere close to gauge. And I was like, no, this is way too big if I try to use this yarn. So we are doing what we're doing. So let me show you what I have. Joan Ho does all of her patterns bottom up, I believe. All the ones in her book that I reviewed so her cable knit book, all the patterns that I really like in it are bottom up. I didn't look at any of the other ones, so I don't know if there's some that are top down, but I believe all of them are bottom up. And so this one is bottom up as well, which, you know, I honestly am curious why she chooses that way. I'm not saying I've only knit one bottom up, maybe my daughter's cardigan as well, bottom up. So it's unfamiliar to me, but I'm curious as to why she chooses what, you know, because most people say, oh, bottom down or top down is way better because you can try it on as you go, and, you know, ease and, you know, just the ease of knitting it, I should say, and all that other jazz. So I'm curious to just know why she prefers it this way. Anyway, so it's scrunched on the needles, but here's where I'm at. So you have a folded hem, which I'm hoping blocking helps it not curl up. Oh man, it's so sad considering the fact that I had cast on the original yarn and got a little bit like right here, but you cast on a big number of stitches and then you have to do this fold over bit. So I was kind of sad that I had to restart, but we are managing. I did think about going up one needle size to try to hit gauge a little bit closer, but I really liked the way the fabric was. See, it's still you can kind of see through it a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see the mirror in the bathroom. I don't know if, yeah, right there. So it's definitely a little bit gapey. So I didn't want to go any further than that. So yeah, I believe this is due beginning of April. Oh, there's a pocket. I should tell you there's going to be a pocket on the front, which is kind of cool. So it's just a t-shirt, a crew neck t-shirt with a pocket. There will be matching shorts to this. I did not apply to knit the shorts as well because I did not think, well, A, I didn't have enough yarn for both, and then B, I didn't think I'd have enough time in the time frame to do both. So just doing the t-shirt. Maybe in the future I will make them matching shorts, because I should have plenty of this. This is 500 grams, just so you know. Holst Garn sells 50 gram skeins or 500 gram cones, and I am a big fan of the cones. So yeah, I made it a little self goal to get 5 3/4 of the way this week. So that means I have until Sunday to hit that. We will see. And then the following week, the other 5 1/4 inches. And that would be the whole body length before doing the back and the front panels and all that jazz. So we'll see. I don't know if that is a pretty big, you know, if I should have maybe instead of half, I should have done it by 3, you know, over 3 weeks or something. I don't know. It is what it is. Okay, so that's really all that I've been working on. Yeah, let's go over. I should have gone over my stat. Oh, you're so cute. Aurora's here with us now. Orange went and laid on the floor. He was mad at me. I meant to go over this stuff when I did my January recap, but unfortunately I forgot to grab my book. So this is my little knitting journal. I am kind of writing down the weeks and then kind of like my little goals through the weeks. And then on this side, I did yarn out and yarn in. So for February, I kind of just made it so yarn in and out is down here, because I'm really trying not to do too much purchasing of yarn. And then my goals right here. I don't want to write out the next month's just in case I need the next page for something else. But let's go back to January and I'll show you my ins and outs for January. So in January, it looks like I used a total of 12 units of yarn, but I brought in 29. So negative 17 units of yarn. I did not use enough. I guess that's just the number that's coming up. Math is not my strong suit, so please bear with me. So I started the year with 240 skeins. I added 29, but minus 12 gave me 257 skeins in stash. This is not correct as of right now because of yeah, that's not completely correct right now, but because February is already halfway through. But yeah, that is what I did. So the yarns that I used were for the artist shawl, the lathe cardigan, the Oslo hat, some face scrubbies that I crocheted, and then the storm sweater. And then what I bought was Olafloss Lopi, some more fisherman's wool, sugar and cream, cotton yarn for the face scrubbies. I did receive a couple of skeins of woolly mammoth yarn, and then the cotton light by drops for the amigurumis. Yeah, and then I'm also tracking the prices. I know you can't see that. The prices of yarn and the prices of patterns. I just want to see like an overview of how much I actually spend per month and for the whole year on, you know, like yarn and patterns. I do buy a lot of patterns and I really need to stop. I mean, yesterday was not a good day. Okay, so for January, we'll start with January. I bought 3 patterns in January. And so that was a total of $24.47 US dollars. So yeah, that was 3 patterns. I bought the weekend dress plus pullover by Amy Scher, the Uma vest by Agio Knits, and the, is it Baker shawl by Fiber Tales. That is beautiful. So all 3 of those total $24.47. In January for yarn, I purchased yarn from Wool Warehouse and then from Joan's. So the Wool Warehouse was the Drops Cotton Light, and from Joan's was Fisherman's Wool and Sugar and Cream. So the total there was $44.56. So that is what I have spent so far this year. Well, as of January, sorry. I know February is through, so at the end of February, I will give updated totals. I should probably make a spreadsheet so I can total those monthly numbers together, because I don't have room really to write monthly totals unless I go ahead and go another couple pages over. I mean, I don't want to fill these pages up. Let's just say that. I don't want to fill these pages up, but it's a possibility. Like, this is February for patterns alone, and that was like yesterday and one today. And then February for yarn, not a whole heck of a lot, thankfully. I mean, definitely spent more already. I mean, I do have, I did spend money on a needle organizer, so I don't know if I should add that to this, because that's not something I buy all the time. That's something I put myself on a waiting list November 1st, and I finally now just got access. So maybe that doesn't count because that's not a everyday expense. So, oh, and I'm also adding in, sorry, I just noticed my little note at the bottom here. For the yarn, I am adding in the shipping costs as well. So the total amount. I did not add in taxes because I don't think so. No, I didn't add in the taxes for the Joann's purchase. So just shipping costs if I buy online. All right, I think that is it for all of this. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because I want to get back to knitting on the shawl and watching Love is Blind. Plus I'm thirsty, so I think that is everything I want to talk to. So again, at the end of this month, end of February, I will be going over my February numbers if I can make sure to remember to do that. And of course, you know, progress on any and all things that I work on that gets more than one day. I'll be honest, more than one day in that time period, I will show it to you. I have not been cross stitching. January ended. That wasn't an excuse. I got busy with trying to finish things, and starting things that the cross stitches kind of got pushed back again. It's still sitting out in case I do want to pick it up, but yeah. And I was trying to spin every day this month because Knit 365, I can't remember what his name is. I don't watch his videos. I mean, I'm subscribed to him, but I haven't watched his videos in a while. But I know somebody else mentioned that he was doing a spinuary where you spin 15 minutes a day every day in February, and I was like, oh, that's totally doable, and it really, really is. I did it one day, February 1st. So that's not going anywhere either. Last quick update. Oh well, I'm not gonna grab the other one, but I did get my book of the month book in the mail. It's over there. I got Heartless Hunter by Kristen. Ooh, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's a fantasy book about a witch and a witch hunter, and you know, enemies to lovers kind of thing. So eventually I will read that. I also got my third book in the Woven Kingdom series. I believe I talked about that last time. I mentioned it probably. I got my last book in the mail. Again, I'm busy reading. Here's the book jacket. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Just still cracking away on this. I am not a multi-book reader. One at a time kind of girly. Unless there's an audiobook, then I'll pop that in, which I have one. I need to. I'm this far in. I don't know. The lighting. I'm over halfway. And I don't really know what to say about this. It's not terrible, but it's also not like as like exciting as I thought it was going to be. So again, I'm over halfway. I'm 478 pages in. So we'll see. We will see. The big boy. All right, that's all that I have to share with you today. I do hope that your February is going well. It's going by super fast over here. And I will see you at the end of February for my monthly update. Talk to you later. Bye.